right. Good morning. Good morning. Bit behind today. Sorry. Kip decided he had to he had to poop right before we got started. I was like, oh god, he can't sit there the whole time. So I needed to get him all settled through there. So all right. So right now, last 24 hours, always a weird kind of start with obviously Monday holidays. Big mover on the board, dollar yen. We were seeing the dollar kind of take off earlier today. Um, Really kind of when the US session came online, the big money came online, we started to see it. We do have some oil data coming in. You can see that Saudis to extend voluntary cut of 1 million until the end of December. Okay, oil was already creeping up higher, right? We saw oil up at mid 80s. Not necessarily the type of news you want when you say, we're going to extend the voluntary cut. And then Russia is also extending their cut of oil export cuts through December. So looks like we're not going to get any relief on the energy front until at least December. And we'll see. I don't know. Maybe we will start releasing more of the strategic oil reserve. Who knows? We'll see how that kind of bows out. But besides that, everything else pretty standard across the board. Sorry, hold on. Trying to get something set up for Kip to watch. Early, well, I guess late night, depending on where you are. Early, you can see that the Aussie cash rate came in at 410. You can see that the Aussie dollar is down about 86. And again, this has been a pretty consistent trend. Whenever we see, um, you know, whenever we see, no, don't want me, give me kids. Whenever we see whether a kind of as expected, it tends to be a very quick mover to the downside, and that's more or less what we saw. Are we connected? Give me some Masha and the bear. There we go. All right. Um, so yeah, so that's what we have as far as the cash rate goes. GDP, we'll get that data. Actually, the data should be out. Hmm. Sorry, it's 9:30 p.m. I saw it as the pound, not the Aussie. So we'll get the data tonight for the GDP. And again, with it being big down right now, this is showing an acceleration in GDP. We may actually see this being a buying opportunity later on tonight because we have all the weakness coming in. All the weakness coming in early. All right. As far as other big headlines, we had some Waller comments. I feel like these are important to mention. And again, this could have had some to do with some of the dollar movement. Talking about how it's allowing the Fed. The Fed will proceed carefully. The recent data gives the Fed space before making the next rate move. Again, talking about that pause. Waller says the data is looking pretty good for no recession, which okay. One more hike is unlikely to send the economy into recession. This statement right here, people are like, oh God, you're talking about pausing up here, but wait, we can do one more, right? I think a lot of people were convinced that was it. We were done, no more, right? So this is a little bit of a surprise kind of comment where it's like, oh, okay, didn't expect that one. But yeah, and then obviously until inflation comes down, the Fed will have to keep rates up. So again, maybe that will start signaling something in the future. But a lot of statements back and forth by Waller, kind of sending it all over the place. It's kind of like, wow, it's a moving target. So yeah, it is what it is. But you can see the dollar yen is the only one triple digits right now. Even the euro pound a little bit more flat than we thought. And pound yen 35, nothing whatsoever. So, all right, let's start off with the VIX. So VIX obviously going from Friday to Tuesday, little bit of a jump there, but I don't think that's necessarily unexpected. You always see that type of volatility jump in the beginning of the week, and then it starts to tear down again. The indices are in the red, but not so much because of anything dollar related or what Dollar said. I mean, you can see that the dollar's up, but a lot of that surge came from early morning. And then once the U.S. market came online, we saw a little bit of a pullback, and we're kind of at a basing. And really, at this point, if it crashes through 104.54, we should see a pushback all the way down to the 104.20 level. So yeah, we should see that continue to move. But right now, the indices are in the red more because of kind of weak Chinese data. Um, you know, Obviously, whenever we see data that's weak out of China, it does affect indices. Um, But right now, starting off having that holiday, you didn't have the movement in there for an entire day, and then obviously we get weak Chinese data. It's not necessarily the ideal recipe for a positive kind of open. As well as people looking at the remarks from Waller. I mean, obviously the no recession thing is good, but talking about how we have room to go, we can pause. That's a great thing. But then the second that Waller mentions that one more is probably not going to kill us, it's kind of like, wow, somebody's still thinking about one more. Wow, you know. So that's a little bit of a shock, not necessarily what you want to hear if you're an indices based trader. But a lot of it is already coming down with Chinese weakness, but then again coupled with a Waller statement. You see the Russell down 1.44. That's a pretty decent drop there. And again, a lot of that again Chinese based data. Also, there was some comments out of Russia this weekend, and I don't know how much of it really necessarily is going to be market moving. Basically saying that foreign companies are going to have a harder time about getting their money out of Russia. They've basically said, you've locked our money down from removing our money, so we are going to lock your money down. And I don't know. I'm not sure what the total amounts are. It's just basically when companies are deciding to not do money there, or not do business there, they obviously had local accounts there. Um, I don't know. It's kind of I, I'm kind of surprised it took them as long as it did to do it. But they basically said if banks are going to release our money, then we'll release your money. So I don't know. Can't really necessarily fault them for it. I mean, I guess the logic is sound. You keep ours, then we're not going to let you abandon our market as well. Um, you know, yeah, I don't know. So it's all that. Don't know how much market movement it's gonna be caused from it, or what the implications of it are. Again, what are you gonna do? Sanction them? They're already sanctioned. Um, and again, I don't know. They build up legitimate money and things like that, and now it's we took theirs, so it's kind of like, huh? I mean, kind of like an eye for an eye type thing there. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if there's any comments about that one going further. Um, Commodities, oil, again. Any surprises up at 87? No. And we talked about 88.15, I think is where the magic number was, to where we could see finally some sellers coming in. Um, yeah. Uh, Not much to say about that one. Again, obviously all these cuts going forward, and again, you know, the entire idea was like, listen, we don't want to keep energy prices high because it fuels Russia's war machine. Well, guess what? Um, Oil is high again. Nothing we did changed it. Even with Chinese data being bad, oil's up there. Again, imagine if China started to boom again, what that would do to energy demand. And right now, I mean, if we see our markets dropping, it's kind of the same thing. Are Saudi Arabia and Russia, are they wrong for keeping cuts in when China's data is horrible? No, because China is the main driver as far as new growth, as far as energies go. So, kind of puts us in a weird spot, right? Not loving that one. On natural gas, pulling back 5%, right? Back down to the 261s. Again, we could be breaking back into the 255, 258-ish range. Moving in the right direction, which is weird because all weekend it was like kind of very like cold here. And then today it's like 85, but God, the humidity has just been rough for the last 2 days. Um, Gold, seeing gold pull back down a little bit, still a little bit high in my opinion, that 1931 level. And then silver broke through that 24 mark. We're down to the 2380 range. Again, down 0.5%. Not quite double, but almost. Um, so yeah, it's moving in the right direction. Let's go to Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar's down big, and you can see a lot of this deteriorated. We talked about a little bit of a Harry Potter based trade on this one coming through. I'll remove this so you can kind of see it. You can see it based in there. It didn't give us really a pullback. I mean, it kind of came down based and then just launched itself through. And again, this was the news rate, right? A lot of this was the news based trading. We knew it was coming in. It actually came in right here, but you can see a lot of the move was already set up from over the weekend. And we pushed all the way back down to the other side, the 63.81. And that's kind of where we hit, and we kind of bounced around. We knew it was a big level. We were really looking for like kind of a Sunday open there, and it kind of just flatlined on us. And you can see it just kind of chopped back and forth base, and we're kind of stuck there now. So, I think with it being, low here, we'll remove this just to kind of clean this up a little bit. You can see that this one went through. We'll pull that off. Run some fibs on this one from kind of really high to low, just kind of see if there's anything in there that will kind of change this or move this around a little bit. I would say there's probably an area. This one, for some reason, wants to get weird. little area sitting right there. Let's see how big is that little area. About 10 pips. So we do have an area here that we could potentially see a bounce off of. Again, this is a news based kind of generated move here. This strong push to the downside. That was about a 70 pip move. Daily ATR is only 64. So right about now is kind of where we're used to seeing that kind of, maybe will we start to see a push back up again, and we'll see. We may take a bounce off of it, but I think it's important to look and figure out right here this GDP growth. Um, See what's coming in right there. Now, ideally, we'd like to be there when the news comes out, but we obviously have some time until we get there. Hold on one sec. All right. He was just being too quiet. It's like, wow, he's wrapped into one of his soaps. It's funny how the kids vary. Jin was into like Peppa Pig, and I forget what else the other one was that she used to watch all the time. And now it's transitioning into Barbies, where he was into Blippy. Rachel, he went from Rachel to Blippy to he found Gecko Garage, and now Gecko Garage is his jam. So he loves that. He's like mesmerized. He's like, oh, Gecko, ooh, Gecko's Garage. So yeah, so ideally, again, I think we start looking for buying in here, some Aussie strength coming back in. Maybe we see this one hit a little bit early. Maybe the 10 for 30 can see the 23.6 has nothing. There's a little bit of a hiccup down here around the 64.27, and it is before the 50. So, and you can see all that basing that occurred up to the 61.8. So it makes sense where it turned. If we are able to kind of, like I said, could this be a 10:30 reversal to start taking back some of that? Yeah, it could. And if we rally back up again, maybe we push back into, I don't know, maybe we push into here and then we're looking for price to be there for news potentially. And then again, maybe this doesn't come in at point three, maybe it comes in at point two and it's a weak Australian news release and we shoot back to the downside. It would need to move about 43 pips. It's got a 27 pip 4 hour ATR, so it's got more than enough time to get up there. Um, but I think right now that's probably the play that we're looking for. Um, So yeah, I mean it's all right. Like I said, I'd like to see if we pull back. I do think this could be a potential turnaround, and then I'd be looking for short tonight. So yeah, something small there. If you're looking for it, obviously find it on yours. I'm actually using the top of the red candle, not the greens on this one, but it's at 63.67. If we come down and start basing, it's not really showing any true conviction about it. It could potentially go lower, and then this may have to be brought down to here, right? It may come in there, depending if we push lower. So a couple of things set up for this one. Again, first day back is always weird as things start moving again. All right, Aussie yen. So Aussie yen. We were talking about reversals here last week, and we see it. You can see Monday we kind of came up to that level and grabbed it. I'll remove it to 94.64. And again, that zone held the entire time. It kind of pushed lower and hit this level, came back up and grabbed it in time for news last night, and then again accelerated all the way through to the other side. Blew this one up even farther. Again, we knew we had multiple hits here, and that level is off. And now we're kind of stabilized on the other direction, so we can remove this because the 78 is out. Mm, Obviously, from Sunday night, that was about 104 pips, so a little bit over an ATR on a daily. So we did have a Chen trains here, so I'm actually going to change this and bring this here to here. Yeah, 61.8. 33. Yeah, I would say I'm looking for somewhat of a rally here, right? If we can get a rally back up again, it would require about 36 pips, right? We'll see. There'll be some shot back and forth on this one, obviously, with the yen. Um, could be an interesting trade for this afternoon too. It's not huge. It's 10 for 30. Um, Kind of what it looks like, right? Kind of what it looks like. Not bad. We'll see what it does. I have a feeling it's going to kind of push down a little bit more here. But again, if we take the bounce here for the Aussie and we can find the bounce here, it's going to the right spot. So we'll see. I think this one does provide. It's a little bit far though. It's only 30 pips. So maybe, I don't know. I'm going to say that there's potential for here or there. I think either of those two for the news have potential. It's right there. So kind of sitting in the middle, nothing over here. So if we pull back down because of the reversal time, I think either of those two works. I do like the top one though. The fact that that's at a 61.8 and that had a strong push like that, I do like that one a lot. So we'll see. Euro dollar, not doing much. Right. We hit the profit target on Friday at about 11:30. Right. We talked about that monster short. We can remove this one here. The 786 was taken out. We can take this, and this. We'll kind of clear it to the most recent. Looks like we based right off that level, so let's remove these two. I'll take this and this, so let's get new draws on everything. Let's take the top here and just kind of see if anything lines up. Not so much. Not so much. Mm, we have almost an So this is what we're dealing with on this side. There is a confirm. We are sitting at a confirm level right now, right? A rally, a base in there, and a punch. It wasn't the best, but it was super early in the morning, and there is some buyers there. Hmm, the worst of levels, the reversal. Problem is, it went back and grabbed what it should have grabbed. Could be headed for 105. I don't think they're wrong, but worth the levels. Yeah, good. Cracking them up. Getting dollar. Yeah, it's trying to surge higher again. So this is interesting setup because obviously we have sellers sitting right there, right? That's why this got turned around. And again, kind of extended, right? Nice little push up. We've pushed this about even, so there's not really much holding this back if it was to turn again. And again, a big surge happened, but it happened the European session, and now it's kind of more flatlining back again. So I mean, looking at something like this, yeah, you can see the dollar surging, but if we run out of steam down here, it looks like there could be a long opportunity, and there's nothing really that screams. If anything, there would make the most sense having this push all the way down. Um, that would need to go down to 106.88. Let's see what we have back if that's a possibility. Um, kind of some testing in there. It's not like a super clean zone. So I wonder if it was going to be more super clean. Um, I was hoping that would be a little bit easier, right? Because if this is where the bottom is, if we come down to 106.88 and turn, this is a decent. I like this. I like the way that there's the sawtooth there, and the fact that we got a kind of a confirmation touch off of it. I mean, it's nothing right now, right? With price here, it's nothing right now. It's literally just a quick pullback, kind of a continuation down. But once it comes to here, now all of a sudden we know we'd have artificial selling in there because it's a 23.6, and that would be confirmed with this kind of little sawtooth in there with this touch. So, you know, kind of looking, it'd be nice if we got down to this level here. Um, right. Be nice. It would be nice. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm not ready to pull a trigger on a long on this one. As far as a short goes, we did just come off a level, which is a pretty decent level. I would say that's not the worst trade coming in there at 8:30. And again, it's a holiday kind of break. If we can get down, I do like the zone. I will be a big fan of that zone if we can come down and we start to base and turn off this 106.88. But right now, I would say that this 106.88 is probably a target. There's a little bit of buying coming in right around the 107 mark, and again, 107 would probably be the short target right now, as people are looking for that to come down and break. And then once it breaks, then there'll be some artificial buying and selling, as people are kind of using that 107 mark as kind of a telltale sign of, going higher or lower. Can we hit 105 today? I don't think there's anything earth shattering. I think, we need to raise an interest rate again. There need to be a raise or some really big data that would justify that move. Or, again, there could be some European data too, I guess. Combination of both, right? Combination of both could help that one. But right now on this one, I just, I like it going down. It's a little bit late, but overall, yeah, I just wish we had a little bit more. Wish we had a better zone on the bottom, right? So target, wait for it to come, push down lower. Euro pound, you can see big surge up, big surge back down again and again. This was, low volume European markets. You can see it surging super early in the morning and then 5:30 turn and reverse back down again. So we do have a little Harry Potter trade down here. We have an alert that has not been triggered yet. Looking at a break of 85.35. This is one from last week. You can see Sunday didn't do much. It just kind of, very, very quick. So I do think, yeah, yeah, 85.35. Yeah, I think it's all good. Yeah, I'm not going to cover it again. That's what we push. We're looking for the big surge back down to 85. So I think this one is on board. Don't need to rehash it again. You're again. All right. So looks like Friday shut this one down. Actually, Friday was here. So let's see. Friday goes here. So this one got shut down at right there. So yeah, it ended up pushing all the way back down again. So we'll remove it. It ended up positive. Again, the weekend would have shut that one down. So it looks like this one just turned off of a little bit of a front run off the 50. Still looking for 85.88. I'm sorry, 158.80. Yeah, 158.88. Where we are right now, really since Sunday, I mean, obviously Sunday's here. We kind of had a surge up, and then when Monday morning US session rolled in, it just kind of flatlined. Strong push down, but then we've retraced back up again. It's not really sitting at a level. I mean, I guess there's kind of a level sitting here, and again, this is that European weakness we kind of seeing, or the yen weakness we're seeing. Um, it's an okay level. I mean, it's nothing earth shattering. I think if anything, um, again, we are backstop, with this pushing all the way down. There's a clean one here. I think there can be a case made that there's one sitting right there as well if you want to be a little bit more aggressive if it does push up. Once that European session is done, it's going to be kind of at the whim of the market. So right now, I'd say kind of more bearish thinking than anything else. We've seen the euro pound push down a lot. Excuse me. Problem is we need the yen to help us on this one. So when the yen needs the help, it's not the strongest scenario when we're cheering for the yen. All right. Pound dollar. All right, so pound dollar. We got some stuff to do on this one. So let's erase this. Let's erase this. Friday morning, we ended up punching through this side, which is awesome. That's what we're looking for. We were talking about a reversal potentially opening. It looks like it pulled back. It hiccuped here, but it didn't necessarily need it. So let's remove it. Let's clean it. Let's throw a new fib on there from this high. Whoops. Here. Hit the button. There we go. Okay. So you can see right now also kind of has that same hiccup. It is at the 23.6. Unfortunately, we're a little bit deep to try to chase this one. Yeah, it's 24 pips in, so it's a little bit deep to chase it. Overall, this one, not horrible. Again, a lot of basing right around the 50. That's not a bad spot. I think, again, we look for this one to come back up again when it does. Is this a short? Yeah, it's probably a pretty decent short. Let's see. Would it have had enough room? How far does it need to move? Yeah, it just needs to go back down to the morning low. So not the worst of trades. I think it will have to clear this area at 125.47. So if you're short, not a horrible trade, right? It wasn't a bad 23.6. there's level there. There's chop over there. And again, coming up in that 8:30, 9 o'clock range, it's not a bad little trade. You're unfortunately up 25 already in it, so I really can't. I don't want to give any recommendations or anything on it because it's already, it's already done its movement. So, yeah, pound yen. All right, so pound yen. We were looking for a breakthrough 184.64, and it did. It broke through, right? It just didn't pull back the way we liked. It came up and then it pulled back again, and it never triggered the second time. We were looking for it to push all the way up to 185. It sucks when that happens. It gave us the pullback. It just didn't pull back enough. There wasn't enough volume on Monday morning. At 10:30 is when this one ran out of steam. It just that was the push down, and it didn't hit the level, but it did hit our profit target. And you can see Tuesday morning at 1:30 a.m. we ended up hitting this level up here, which we had mentioned before, the 185.28. It had a small confirmation touch with a huge push, and you can see the response to that one, monstrous move to the downside, 121. So very, very easy pound yen trade. It blew through, sliced through this level. And again, there was no basing in there. So once this one kind of pulled back and got front run, you would have deleted this one because it did punch through the top. We were calling for one of the two sides. We were looking for any type of basing, and it didn't. It just, the base didn't go through, but the alert did go off. You can see the pound yen alert was sitting right there. It came out yesterday morning. So, yeah. Hard one. Nice trade. Good setup. It's been hit. This is the third time when you're seeing basing. This one will continue to push higher. And again, this is pound strength and yen weakness. I do think we start running into some yen profit taking though, so I think this one will run out a little bit of a steam. Is there anywhere up here that I'm interested in taking it short? Not really, right? Red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, three in a row, red, green, red, green. So it's pretty consistent impulse correction. Nothing, and again, this is Wednesday, super late. Nothing where you're looking at this, you're like, yeah, I wouldn't say anything super strong here. No explosive moves. All the candles are about, basically the same. No real clean top. It kind of flatlined, but we knew that was a level up top. So maybe that's where we're projecting this one goes to. But you know, is there anything great in this one that we can't really, that's going to be there that we're like, yeah, I just don't know. Nothing that I'm in love with, right? Nothing that I see and I'm like, yeah, that's great. I just not there, right? Just not there. So yeah, yeah. I think we need to wait till it comes back. I think we need to go all the way top. Maybe that's what we're looking for. Maybe we're looking for like something like that. It's a 15 pip zone, right? And again, it's front running the 186.02 a little bit, but I think because this turned here, and again, we got a red, green, red. We got the confirmation coming in, leaving that zone. Um, yeah, I feel like it's coming back down again from that level. Wish we had a little bit more. Yeah, I wish we had a little bit more oomph, but yeah, I think that's again just not enough meat over here, right? There's just not enough meat in there to really be like, yep, love that one. So look for it to go up, and again, maybe again with euro pound kind of breaking through, right? Getting that pound strength come in. Um, that one's got about 30 pips to run to kind of where the target is. Um, again, 49, and this one has a higher, kind of a higher level of beta on it. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? They would both kind of hit areas of profit taking. So, again, pick your poison. Euro pound, pound yen. I think pound yen probably has a little bit more volatility in it because that yen is being weird, but yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, I'd wait till we get up top. Wait till that level, right? But yeah, this one is out now. And again, boom, 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 basing in here. Yeah, it should break. Um, dollar CAD. All right, so dollar CAD. So dollar CAD. I actually got in there earlier and drew this one. Again, we had multiple peaks at this level, multiple hits, so we knew that we were like trying to break through it. You could run this all the way up if you want. I think the new one makes the most sense. Right now, what I'm targeting on this one is a level of basing right here around the 50. Now, it did push it pretty deep, so could it bounce off of it? Absolutely. But I think we have a decent push down, and there are buyers here, but I'm not as concerned about those buyers. I think if it starts deteriorating back to the downside, we could definitely get some help. Now, it's sitting right there. It's a little tiny bit deep, but it's kind of nestled at the very, very end. Normally, we would say, hey, listen, put your profit right there. That's where it needs to be, right there. And it's a little bit deep, but overall, I think it's it is not the worst push to the downside, right? All right. So decent trade setup in dollar CAD. Again, you need all that the proper confirmations coming in. There we go. 135.74 or one here. Change this to 174.35. There. All right. Little 13 pip for 38 in the other direction. So all right, dollar Swiss. All right, so dollar Swiss. We do have an interesting top in here. Now, I prefer if the green was the high, not the red, but we are definitely pulling back, and it is pulling back to a level of basing. It's not quite at the 23. But I think there is the potential for a short on this one if we are going to see dollar weakness continue to roll in for the day. Obviously, with this, there is a little bit of a burst. It's not a very, very big zone, so just keep that in mind. You're only talking about a 7 pip zone on that one, but I do think this one has the ability, if it breaks through, to kind of push all the way back down in here to the 88.50 mark. This 88.50 mark, I kind of do like where it is. Um, yeah, right there. That's what I was putting for. So yeah, I'm looking for this to kind of roll back down again. Um, Ideally, we would have liked a better situation in the top, but I think right now, focusing on this little level right here, and again, we are high in the curve. We are looking at short. We are bearish thinking. Obviously, the dollar has been surging, 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 surging. But if we start to see that pullback in the other direction, I think that's really where things start to change around for this. So, yeah, I think that's probably the best setup on this one. Um, Again, we're not in a confirmed downtrend yet. We're still just kind of pulling back. Let's see, where's the dollar now? Yeah, see, the dollar's running into that same area again, where it's like, oh, it's running out of steam, right? It's finding and see how it's kind of chipping through. It's hitting those sellers up top. So that's why I think dollar CAD also, or not dollar CAD, dollar Swiss. I feel like if we're running into problems here and the dollar starts to turn, I think we come down and push. Now, with that being said, is the base going to be here? Is this going to be the pullback base that we go to? Could be, right? That could be the pullback base, and that could be the push down. 1 to 3, right there, right? It's struggling. I think this is about the turn. I'm afraid we're not going to get into this one. I'm afraid this is going to chop back and forth and slice through, and that's going to just be the punch. right? Because it wasn't super clean. Hit it again, hit it again. It's already running into problems. So I feel like it's going to turn and push, but I want to find a short on this one. Definitely more bearish thinking on this, guys. Just I don't know where, but again, we are a little bit high. 89 is a little bit too high for where we are right now, particularly with all the comments about pausing and things. Again, there is some Swiss problems, but I'd like to find a short in this dollar Swiss one. Now, again, if you're more of a swing based trader type thing, um, again, I definitely think this is an area up top where we should be looking for more swing trades. I really think that the Fed is probably done. Again, maybe one more. Obviously, some of the data pulled back. The data is not exactly, um, it's not exactly where it needs to be, but as of right now, it's moving in the right direction. The data is going to be partially back, and the biggest problem right now. Um, is obviously going to be gas, right? And I don't think that the Fed wants to get involved with that. I don't think there's much the Fed can do with that. Um, yeah, that yeah, inflation driven from energy is something that the Fed is not going to be able to deal with. Um, so yeah, I'd like to find a short in dollar Swiss. And again, wherever this new base is, this is the base, but I feel like wherever the top is, that's where we're looking for kind of a push down, comes up, and when it bases here, that's where the drop is going to be. So I'm kind of looking for something along those lines, if that makes sense, right? Wherever this base is, maybe it's here, maybe it's here, maybe it truly is there. Maybe we just falter right now, but kind of wherever this top base is off this zone, okay, is what I'm looking for. Dollar yen. So dollar yen for Sunday, here's Friday to Sunday. We were kind of sitting there and it just literally drove through. It's like, oh yeah, this is not turning. This is not going anywhere. Nothing, 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 nothing. We kind of came up and then again, nothing, 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 nothing. And then finally late last night, it started to move. And that's when the dollar strength started to roll in. So none of these necessarily mattered. These were kind of if we could get a nice little pop either way. I think this is good. This same zone here, I mean, obviously it got chunked through and the Sunday happened in there. I think this zone is great now because we had that big surge up on Friday and then at 11:30 flatlined. I mean, literally did nothing, right? A little bit of a hiccup going into Monday morning and then we flatlined again. Now I'm pretty excited about this level because when we come through, and again, it just happens to be at this 146 mark, right? Right there. We have a run all the way back down to really 145, right? It's a little bit lower. It's kind of sitting 82-ish. But again, I wouldn't mess around with the 145. 145 would be a big psychological level. So does this have the ability to continue to push higher? Absolutely. I definitely think so. Again, I think it will start running out of steam because of the dollar, but right now the yen is, that's what we're looking for. And right now, I think things that we need to mark off, let's take this one off just to keep it cleaner. You can see there's a level. I swear they changed some of the settings to where it's like click here now, right? I think there's a level there we need to watch out for, right? So a break below 146, like it. I think you need to be cautious and look at this 140. Here, we'll change it. Problem is it's right at 147. Oh, yeah. So the 147 also being at a 23.6 extension, or pullback level, I definitely think could lead us to an extension higher. So we'll see where the reversal is, but right now we have some room to run, even though we'll push up there. Um, so yeah, I think if we can pull back to the 147, look for a potential jump higher. It's just dollar strength is there. Crude. Now, crude is one of those ones where it is right now. We had originally talked about 88 something. I know we talked about 80. We were talking about going to. I know 85 was on the radar, and again, we hit that on Friday, so we knew that that was out. But that was the next area, and we're like, yeah, we're not ready to short it yet. Let's pull a lot of these off. Boom, boom. That was a whoops. That reversal back was good on Friday. Let's take that off. Let's take this off. Let's take this off. Take these guys. Take those off. That one's good. All right. Now let's see. All right. So right now where we're standing, you can see there's a lot of basing here, and then there's touches on the other side from this level of basing, and it happens to be the 23.6. So right now, I would say after this huge surge higher, there's going to be profit taking coming in. Is this going to look like this? potentially. And 1 to 3 only needs to go to there. So back down to 86, right? Can we go back down to 86 today? 86.11. Um, I'd say it's not a horrible trade. Again, huge surge. It was news based. It was gut reaction. Those tend to have reversals. Obviously, this is the largest candle in the window, um, signifying that again it was an emotional response to that news. Um, that again, two of our non allies decided to keep those cuts in. Um, Again, are they unjustified cuts? I mean, again, if you're using China as the gauge, then yeah, they're justified. But we were already seeing the writing on the wall with price jumping higher. So, I do think there'll be profit taking coming in this market. Again, oil is one of those ones that it's not really not so much of a swing trade market anymore. It is definitely much on a day to day kind of intraday basis type trades. So we should see some reversal back again. If it pulls back down again, look to take profit down here at 86. Whoops, 86 right there. All right. Natural gas doing what it's supposed to do. So again, the top was put in from last week. You can see had a little bit of a Friday to Sunday, or actually, I guess it's Friday to Friday. And then we pushed all the way back down again. We talked about the two profit targets, one being at 263, and you can see we hit the 264-ish mark Monday at 1 o'clock, and then we finally broke through in late night. We're not quite down to the second one. We're trying to fill that second gap, and unfortunately, this is kind of where there's multiple gaps in this one. I mean, here's where the most recent gap was, and it was also with the 61.8, and that's kind of what we're bouncing off of right now. Um, Again, temperatures are soaring a little bit, but as we mentioned last week, the temperature story tends to fizzle very, very quickly, particularly around this time of year, right? Because you can have your surges, but they don't last long, right? They don't last too long. And again, is it really eating up a ton of the natural gas supply? It's not a longer, middle of the summer. You're like, oh my god, we have months. We have 2 months of this left. It's going to be horrible. Um, we're in September. We're almost a weekend of September at this point. So, we have fall temperatures and people not using any natural gas for heating or cooling. So, I think the fundamental kind of story of this one is we continue to see this deteriorate back down again. We do have two levels here. Again, the gap we just bounced off of here, and then the original gap that we had from the 25th. Two gaps that bust through. And then I think overall, what we're looking for this one to do is come all the way back down again. And, you know, we'll probably have a little hiccup at 255, and that's why I was talking earlier that I think 255 is kind of our target in the next day or two. But I'm wondering if we can get all the way back down to 246, 247-ish level by the end of the week, which would be awesome to be, all the way up here at 282 last week, and now we're back down in the 240s. That would be a great run back to the downside, and again, really back where it should be. We've had a hurricane in there. We've had some heat spikes in there, but we've also had some cold kind of creeping in a lot of places. So, yeah, yeah, um, yeah. All right. Um, yeah, I think that's what we're looking for down south. Let's see, we've got Apple. What's Apple doing now? Yeah, Apple had that big gap. Apple's lower than where it is, but it is up on the day. Had you purchased it at the open, you're actually higher than what it was. So we'll see. 190 obviously is a big deal. You can see it kind of peaked up to 190, then kind of opened there, and then shot right back down again. I mean, I don't want to call it like a huge bull today, but Apple, I believe, has the ability to get up to that 190 level mark, and we'll see where it turns and flips from there. Tesla, again, Tesla had this big drop down again. It opened. We talked about kind of breaking through, and it kind of Harry Pottered itself over here. Again, this is not when you trade in the overnight. You would not have made it all the way down. You would have made it to there. You would have made it to 1 to 2.5, right? 1 to 2.5 before that market kind of pulled back on Friday. And again, you would have messed with it yesterday. You would have done none of this overnight stuff in there. So that's kind of what you would have looked like, from there. And again, you could have taken off this little hiccup. So not bad. I think Tesla at this point also has the ability to come back up again. You can see there's all this selling occurring right here, coming back up to that 258. So, just keep those on your radar. Um, yeah. VIX, again, creeping up a little bit. The indices really haven't changed too much. They're red, so people are like, yep, bad day. So fear index is a little bit higher. Dollar, again, we're not really surging. We're trying, but we're kind of holding. It's kind of like looking over the Grand Canyon, right? Is it going to come back down again into the 104.18, 104.20, 20 range? I think that's where it belongs right now. That makes the most sense. That's where it really technically should be. Um, so All right. Okay, sorry. Reese's orthodontist appointment is like trying to get me on a payment plan. So Asher doesn't even have braces, but like, okay, we're gonna start doing your billing. I'm like, no, like, you know, we called, left messages. It's funny when they want money, they call me every day. But when I'm trying to get an appointment made because Reese has busted off one of his brackets for his braces for like the sixth time, right? The sixth time it's been broken. They're like, "Oh, we don't know when we can get you in. You were a little full." I'm like, "When we do get up there, it takes literally like 3 minutes for them to fix the bracket." But like, they're like, "Oh, we don't know." I'm like, "Hey, listen, I've had to drive here 6 times for you guys to fix this." You know. Um, but it's like, then you're gonna call me every day. I'm like, no, no. You when you call me back when I call for an appointment because Reese is, yeah, I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Anyway, with the dollar rolling back down again, we'll see. This should give some relief for the overall indices. Let's see what we would have had. And again, you have to, although it's not Monday, you got to treat today like it is a Monday. Um, it kind of used again. We looks like there was a confirmation at 8:45, and again, you could have used this as the confirmation. Um, if you'd used this level right here and say, okay, there's our base, right? There's our touch of it confirmed at 6:45. That's what you had at the open. So 8:45 and then 9 it went, and then obviously 9:15 gave us a green into that level. So this one was technically an opening print trade, right? And 1 to 3, there's 3.17. So you can see that it definitely went past. 1 to 3 is there. 1 to 3 is exactly. So looks like you were out at like the second candle. And again, you did have a confirmed touch in the overnight of a level that was formed again late last night. So ideally you want the zone here, but you can see that was the next level higher. That was a decent definable level of risk that was touched, right? And again, you probably could have got an 8:45 or 9, again, the 9:15, 9:30 range was the pullback to that zone. So, again, decent opening print trade on a Tuesday Monday, right? Um, NQ. Um, this is ugly, right? 8:45, 9, 9:15 up. I mean, after this 8:45 came through and busted this one out, it would have been here. Again, the 8:15 kind of would have done it. Um, as much as I would love to be like, oh look, there you go, your 9:30 came up and touched it and drove down again, and it did go 1 to 3 in there. The setup chop up in here would have made me a little nervous. It's kind of like, but it did technically work if you guys did trade it. There's your 9:30 candle, right? 9:30 was right there, and 1 to 3 goes right there. There's 3.05. You can see that it is definitely well past. So it did push from here all the way down. So was technically an opening print trade, but I would have been a bit more nervous about this one because, you know, down, up, down, all the way back to the bottom, up, and then this next one here where you open, you're like, Jesus, we're just, again, little bit riskier. Wasn't again, the volatility was insane. But what did it meet the rules? Yes. Basing confirmation 8:45, and again, a little bit late, but would have worked. And now it looks like it's trying to get positive, right? From where the opening was today, if you had bought at the open, while technically it's still red over here, technically it's green. If your opening was here, you've actually pushed up that far. So again, moving in the right direction. Um, Makes sense. YM. All right. So YM. Unfortunately, we were all the way up here at 9 o'clock. Not really any zones that we can use. I mean, I guess you could say, hey, listen, there's a pullback from a base right there. But again, it was an 8:45, 9 o'clock hit. You kind of would have got in. I think, if anything, would have been bearish thinking, but you would not have got an entry. You did get a red, green, red push down, and it reversed off the bottom. I mean, if anything, I would say that it was more of a 10:15, 10:30 reversal from the bottom. Um, if anything, I would say there was a better trade here, but again, not opening print, right? Not opening print. But this was a decent bounce. I mean, it was a 415, nice little surge. Um, so it's okay. It's all right. Yeah. Russell. 8:45, 9 o'clock. It surged here. Nothing to grab. A little bit of a red 9:15, and then it did pull back, but would have been kind of the same thinking. Looking for a short, but there's not really a zone we could grab versus just a hey, listen, we broke the low here, we broke the low here. So, um, good news is though it did break through this, and we expected that to break. This was an old level from before. Let's see. Let's move this old level. I don't need that one. Um, yeah, there would have been people shorting this on the 23. I'd like to figure out where a bottom is on this one. I think levels to walk to mark off. Absolutely a level. I think there. That's what we had this morning. Right. It was kind of a level before, but the strength that this launched itself out, I think it's an important level to note for later on. Right. 1912. Um. hmm. Yeah, I'd like to find a bottom here, but looking for a bottom, we're not getting anything until over in here somewhere. Probably 1868, 1868ish. So I think this one has some room to run. Now let's see. Oh, if we get down in there, yeah, it's close. It's close. So yeah, I mean, obviously the Russell's the weakest. They didn't like Waller's comment about how one more raise is not going to send us into I think that threw everybody for a loop, right? I think that was kind of what did he just say? We could raise it one more time. I don't think the market's liking that one. Not the comment that you want to hear. And again, Waller's not the biggest name, but again, some of the biggest names are, you know, leaving, right? The most influential, the most hawkish, and maybe Waller is now becoming that guy. I don't know. Maybe I feel like some of the women are too. I actually really like some of the women that are out there. There's some that are quiet, the ones that are supposed to be taking over, right? Um, don't make peeps anymore. Don't say a single word. Um, so I think there are more vocal and better people to listen to right now. And again, Waller's not the worst though. So maybe Waller will be the new voice that we really want to kind of focus on. But yeah, I don't think the Russell's liking that one at all. So yeah, nice little short off the open, but unfortunately not an opening print for our purposes. So what about euro dollar? We did euro dollar already, but I can go back and show you. So euro dollar, it's in a run right now. Again, it was pulling back up. We're really looking for this to come down to 106.88. That's the next time we have any big buyers in. It had a little pullback, and again, there's sellers there. So the pullback this morning was kind of a justified short. What's really kind of dictating this one right now is obviously European weakness, but the dollar, right? The dollar being where it is, and you can see it's trying to peak, but it's fighting really, really hard. It's capped right now. So will not be surprised if profit taking comes in inside of that euro dollar trade. Um, Again, it's going to chop. The problem is right now to do any type of analysis. Oh, I'm like, why is it taking so long? Right there. This is what we're dealing with. We knew we had kind of a little hiccup here. There's nothing really here on this one until we get down to there's no confirmed buying coming in until 107.02. So we got about 20 pips to go before it's in range. Is this like the best of the best zones? No, right? It's about a 10 pip zone right there. But that's kind of where we need this one to go, right? And you can see it's already struggling. So it's not quite somewhere we want to pull the trigger. 106.88 is kind of where I want to know if it was able to break through that one. But the next area of buyers, I don't think are till down here. So, we have another, 24 pips until we can have a potential buy. 1030 is where we tend to see 1030 right now is where we tend to see the reversals happen. So again, will it turn here? It's got the potential to really, because of this, right? I mean, we're slamming into buyers here, or sorry, sellers in the dollar after the big run up this morning. So something like the euro dollar, it's like, fun, on a technical basis, I need to drop 20 more pips. But does it have 20 more pips of movement? Maybe the euro does, but I don't know if the dollar does. So it's pretty close. But if we bounce off this 107.01, I think, again, I think it could be a reversal level for the dollar. That 107 mark is going to be a big, big kind of telltale sign one way or the other. If it breaks through the bottom short, if it starts the base and forms a kind of a green, red, green candle formation, again, for it to bounce higher. So, all right, let's go ahead and do the drawing for the day. All right, we got 6 in. Easy E not there. Who else are we missing? Oh, looks like just him. Just him. All right. I'll let it go to 7. I always give that 30 seconds because there is a delay for you guys, so I know how that works. Bum, bum, bum. Let it go. 15 more seconds. Kip actually did pretty good. God knows what he's done to the other room. Oh, he's got a hat on. I have no idea where he got that hat from. What are you doing? Oh, you got all these plugs. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom. Look at that. Right on. Did it again. All right. Winner of today's drawing is Eliminate Critic gets it. Look at that. Takes it with a 1. Another one of these Lady Lucks. I'm telling you. Right? Our lady's going with 1, and they are winning just as much as everybody else. So look at that. Let's see. Copy. I'm not sure where she is on the leaderboard. Let's look. Search. Whoops. Position 148. So a couple through. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. I wish I could just go 2 instead of doing it this way. And it should be on this one right here. There you go. And again, this will be a big jump. 25. Yeah, it'll be all the way. There you go. 126. So you doing some jumping. So you got to win tomorrow. Make sure you are here. Again, can't win if you're not here. Right? Can't win if you're not here. I was trying to see if proceed carefully. Yeah. Agrees the central bank can proceed carefully on interest rates. And we can just wait and sit there. Data continue. Highlighting those data points on Friday report, which showed better than expected growth. Yeah, see? That better than expected growth thing. I'm telling you, I think Waller's got a lot of people nervous right now. So go Waller. Maybe Waller's the new guy. Maybe he's the new guy that we follow. So, like I said, I think the big linchpin of this one right now is look at this. Look at it struggling. Right? The open and close is it's like, oh God. And now we have a lower high put in with a new candle. So we'll see. This could be the top for the dollar today. After those comments. All right, with that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Regular stations will be back on again. Thank you for joining me for today. And again, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, guys. Take care.